This evening, people of different faiths came together this morning in spiritual solidarity at Durban Park. The launching of a $50 bill for the 50th anniversary. Mark Benchcop reviews the APNU AFC coalition government, now 1 year old. Police have reopened the case into the disappearance of Babita Sarju. In the region, legendary West Indian commentator Tony Cozier has died at the age of 75. And internationally, 3 suicide bombings across Baghdad claimed by Islamic State have killed at least 80 people.
From Safetv headquarters in South Bramwell Gardens, this is Safetv Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Safetv 2 Headline News is now streaming live on YouTube. Join us. Today was declared the National Unity Day and National Day of Prayer. The day was kicked off by prayers, musical performances, and a special keynote speaker. Here's more. People of different faiths came together this morning in spiritual solidarity at Durban Park. The event was to kick off the National Unity Day and National Day of Prayer hosted by the Ministry of Social Cohesion and the National Commemoration Commission. This is a part of a week of events leading up to the commemoration of the 50th independence anniversary. Spectators braved the rain to enjoy the early morning festivities. Citizens and dignitaries alike were in attendance. Various ministers, diplomatic representatives, heads of the disciplined forces, and religious leaders looked on. The members of the audience were entertained by Christian gospel singers, musicians from the Guyana Pandit Council, and a performance of students from the Isa Islamic School. Despite the religious differences of the people of Guyana, the country is united under a spirit of patriotism that transcends race, creed, and religion. Highlighting this fact were performances of O Land of Guyana and music from the GDF choir. President David A. Granger addressed those in attendance. The focus of his short statement was the importance of social cohesion as it relates to building a stronger nation. He also emphasized that Guyana's diversity was its strength.
Social cohesion recognizes that our nation is now and always will be multi-religious, multi-ethnic, and multicultural. Miscegenation is forever, and I've recently seen the results of my own DNA test. So I'm forever mixed. Our diversity is an asset, not a liability. We are proud to belong to a society of many faiths. We are proud of the tapestry of ethnicity. We are proud to possess the rich flora and fauna. We cherish our varied landscapes. Social cohesion respects these differences, the differences between various social groups.
In his address, he challenged this generation to be inspired by the independence anniversary and heal past societal differences.
We have an obligation to repair past damage, to restore trust, and to rebuild the bases of a moral community. These will enable people to coexist and to cooperate with each other.
The event ended with the releasing of white balloons inscribed with individual wishes for the nation of Guyana. President Granger and Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu were the first to release the balloons. The balloons had messages of hope and unity for the nation of Guyana. The APNU AFC coalition government today celebrates its first year in office. Mrs. Ruth Granham Harry will briefly take us through some of their accomplishments, as well as point out the areas in which they are lagging.
History was made 1 year ago today when Guyana experienced what appears to have been the most peaceful election in the country's history. Apart from that, the results gave victory to the first coalition government while dethroning the 23-year-old PPC government. 1 year later, some things have experienced change, while others have remained much the same. The government has released a 50-point flyer which boasts of its accomplishments over the year. At the top of the list are salary increases for public servants, higher minimum wage, and reducing toll at the Berbice River Bridge, among others. At a press conference earlier this week, General Secretary of the main opposition People's Progressive Party, Civic, was asked to rate the government's performance thus far.
We haven't, the PPP hasn't actually done any work in that respect as yet, but it's a good idea we can look at. Thank you for the idea, suggestion.
That statement from Clement Rohi comes just months after he gave the then new government an F for performance. Despite not being able to properly go through the work of the coalition, these were some of the concerns of the PPP.
That the economy is in a tailspin, that investments are drying up. We're not seeing any investments coming in the country. More and more pressures are being piled upon the people, more and more taxes. The situation is becoming more and more unsustainable.
The coalition had previously defended that what was evidenced over the past months was due to their inheritance from the previous government. Meanwhile, the government is also boasting of achievements like being able to curb piracy, taking steps to constitutional reform, massively cleaning up Georgetown, and hosting local government elections after 22 years. However, there are still a number of promises that the coalition is yet to deliver on, like lowering value-added tax, significantly raising the salary of teachers in particular, and setting up an agricultural bank, among others. I'm Ruth Granham-Harry, reporting for Safetv 2 Headline News.
Thank you, Mrs. Harry. Baby steps are usually made after 1 year, but we have seen much more than that. Congratulations, Mr. President. The President is grossly dissatisfied with the country's current forensic capabilities. In this Rihanna Ahmad report, you'll hear of the government's plans, as well as that of the still unsolved assassination of former PPP government minister Safetv.
Ghana has had hundreds, perhaps thousands of unsolved murders within the last few decades. Many of these have remained cold cases simply because the country is improperly equipped to perform forensic investigations. This happens even with the establishment of a National Scientific Forensic Laboratory, which opened in 2014, but somehow is yet to make a difference in the country today.
We are not satisfied, and the Minister of Public Security, Mr. Ramjatan, is working to have that laboratory operationalized.
President David Granger, who has often defended that the coalition cannot be blamed for the country's crime situation, said that much of what is being experienced now can be seen as repercussions of the crime spree era, which started during the early 2000s.
Many of the youngsters who witnessed those crimes in the early 2000s, 2003, 2005, and thereabouts, the era of the massacres, have now grown up. They've now grown up. Those persons who were, 6 and 7 years old in 2000 are now 23, 24 years old. So many of them might have witnessed some of these crimes, and there's now what I call a secondary impact.
The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces also touched on the assassination of former Agriculture Minister under the PPPC government, Safetv Osah. It was on April 22, 2006, that the minister, fondly referred to as Sash Saw, along with his sister Pulmati Prasad, brother Rajpat Rai Saw, and security guard Curtis Robertson, were all killed by an armed gang that stormed the minister's home at LBI on the east coast of Demerara.
Many of those crimes were never investigated by the past administration. Even relatives of former Minister Safetv Osah have approached me to get investigations into the crimes. So we must not assume that this crime situation suddenly came on the scene on the 16th of May 2015.
During a press conference last year, then Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi revealed that police may have known who killed Sash Saw. But when further questioned by reporters, Rohi said that the persons whose names were called may have all been killed.
It depends on if all those who were involved in the massacre were killed, or were dead, or died subsequently. I don't know.
Is anyone still alive of those names called in these reports?
I don't know. You'll have to ask the Commissioner of Police about that.
It has been 10 years since Minister Saw was gunned down, but to date, no one knows the truth behind his death. George, we've heard the coalition government promising a detailed investigation into these killings. It is hoped that they find success and the answers to those things hidden. It is necessary for our healing.
Thanks, Rihanna. This is certainly an area worthy of investment as it can restore the integrity of our people. Coming up on Headline News after the break, Bank of Guyana launches $50 note and commemorative coins, and police have reopened the Babita Sarju case.
I'll say, will you marry me? I swear that I will mean it. I say, will you marry me? Sing it.
Jean-Louis Styles, simply different.
With a distinctive flavor, Umda Paukagi is made from 100% pure vegetable oil. This Paukagi is a delight when preparing sweetmeats and other dishes for healthy cooking with a rich buttery taste and aroma. It is used for religious purposes and is a principal fuel for burning. Umda Paukagi is light, pure, with a real ghee texture.
Put your flags in the air. Put your rights in the air. Put your hats in the air. We celebrating 50 years and we still growing. 50 years and we still growing. 50 years. Let's all come together. 50 years and make Guyana better. Celebrate. Yes. Celebrate. Come on. Celebrate. It's our 50th anniversary.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safetv Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safetv Channel 2.
On this date, 1 year ago, the Granger-led APNU AFC party won Guyana's general elections. A majority of the people of Guyana voted for change, but has the coalition delivered? Mark Benchkop feels that the government has much work to do in making its promises a reality. Here's more in this report. As we approach a full year of APNU AFC governance, social activist Mark Benchkop has much to say on the coalition's progress thus far. He understands the challenges that the coalition faces. Nonetheless, his views are critical in some regard.
Well, 1 year after, one cannot expect a heck of a lot to be done. And in all fairness, it's just 1 year. But there are a lot of things that could have been done, minor things and so forth. People were looking for some of the culprits who have allegedly stole millions under the previous administration to be brought to justice. They did a few things, clean up here, clean up there. They're building a stadium for the Jubilee. But people need more than just that.
Mr. Benchkop believes that in order for all Guyanese to truly experience positive change, the government must focus on lifting the standard of the common people of Guyana.
People want jobs, employment. We're not hearing much about that as to what we're going to do with our young people, how we're going to approach these things, job creations and so forth. We're not hearing about these things. And I think that within the year, a lot more could have been done.
Benchcop also challenges the government to improve the way it governs and to fully cater to the needs of the people throughout the nation because the people are expecting better from them.
A lot of people are basically saying that it appears as though this is an exchange. And I hope that those who are in power can understand and reach out to the people who put them there and work on their behalf, create jobs for them, whether it's Linden, whether it's Bartica, whether it's Rupununi, whether it's Borbies, Blackbush, Polar, wherever. Create jobs for people or the opportunity or avenues where persons can feel comfortable instead of just what it appears that this administration is just looking after those who are in the higher upper echelons of government, raising ministers' pays and all these sort of things, salaries. You're raising it, and the ordinary people are asking, what's wrong with us? Soldiers or policemen need increase, the prison service, the fire services, they need increase as well. This is not a one-sided affair, and I hope the government can understand that.
Next Wednesday marks the one-year anniversary of the inauguration of the coalition government. As this date approaches, Safetv 2 Headline News will continue to give assessments from the Guyanese people and members from both sides of the legislature. Police have reopened the case into the disappearance of Babita Sarju. Rihanna Ahmad will tell you in this report that relatives have already been notified.
It has been 6 years since the baffling disappearance of 28-year-old Babita Sarju, who left her mother's Timeri home to go meet her estranged husband and 4-year-old son at the Kitisi Wall on the night of the Diwali motorcade back in 2010. To the contentment of relatives, top police officials including Crime Chief Wendell Blanham and Commissioner of Police Silal Prasad have decided to reopen the case after obtaining credible statements from a number of persons. Champa Sunarayan, Babita Sarju's mother, a woman who has been knocking on doors for many years to get answers, refuses to believe that her daughter is dead.
To this day, I'm still saying that I still believe she's out there somewhere. She was held against her will. I call this as the premeditated act, plan, organized crime by my son-in-law.
Sunarayan strongly suspects her son-in-law because not only was he the last to have seen Babita, but the two shared a turbulent relationship, the effects of which were revealed during a court battle for their 9-year-old son.
She was working at BK International, and he took a nude picture and exposed it to internationally to her place, stick it on the trucks, throw it on the ground, on the roadway. And when she get it that morning, the men then started picking up this picture and said, rush to Babita and give her.
The mother believes that exposing Babita's nude photographs at her workplace was her son-in-law's way of preventing Babita from gaining custody of her son.
That matter was in the human service before Priyamani Chan. And Priyamani Chan, who said from the nude picture, she said you must file custody for the child, but you will have to have a job before having custody of the child. So it's like this, she got that job and she was working there. She was doing well, she was on account there.
Police did find some evidence linking Babita's husband to the nude photo case, but the matter was thrown out following the woman's disappearance.
The case got dismissed in 2011 because there is no Babita, there is no evidence.
This newscast has made several attempts to speak with Babita Sarju's husband, who on multiple occasions has accused the media of being one-sided in the case. Yet, he refuses to tell his side of the story. George?
Thanks, Rihanna. I do hope her mother's wishes for answers are granted this time. Today, the Bank of Guyana introduced into circulation a $50 note and 2 coins. Both the coins and the note were released to commemorate Guyana's 50th anniversary. Both the $50 note and the coins carry the 50th Independence Anniversary logo. In addition to several scenes from Guyana, the note features several security features that people expect from a modern national currency. Some of the features are a windowed security thread and a watermark. The $5,000 coin is struck in silver and is gold-plated. The $2,000 coin is also gold-plated, but it is struck in a metal alloy. Still ahead, our regional and international news.
Women's fashion trends change every day. That's why John Lewis Styles makes it their duty to source items directly from the manufacturing brand, offering you more choices and better prices. Women love to look great, whether it's for work or play. From clothing, shoes, accessories, to handbags, watches, fragrances. Let's make you feel like the only girl in the world. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now, legendary West Indian commentator Tony Kosher has died at the age of 75. A familiar and respected voice around the world, the Barbadian will be remembered for a career in TV, radio, and journalism spanning 58 years. Born in Bridgetown in 1940, he made his BBC Test Match special debut in 1966 and also wrote several books. The son of a journalist, Kosher studied journalism at Carleton University in Ottawa, Canada, and began commentating and writing on West Indian cricket in 1958. He played hockey as a goalkeeper for Barbados media. And internationally, 3 suicide bombings across Baghdad claimed by Islamic State have killed at least 80 people. BBC has our report on this tragic incident.
Carnage in Sadr city, scenes reminiscent of the dark days of Iraq's sectarian war. This vast, mainly Shiite district, the scene of so many atrocities, witnessing the worst attack on the capital in months. It was rush hour, a pickup truck, explosives hidden under fruit and vegetables, detonating in the midst of a busy market. So-called Islamic State said it carried out the attack and that it was aimed at Shiite militiamen. But many of the victims were women, some at a nearby beauty salon preparing for weddings.
Many people were killed and you can see blood everywhere. They were poor people who were here to earn their living. They earned just 5, 10 or 15,000 dinars a day and were killed in cold blood. Why did this happen? Can this corrupt government tell us why? People have been destroyed because of this government.
The blast destroyed vehicles and shops. Some were smouldering hours after the attack. Security has gradually improved in Baghdad, but large-scale attacks do still take place. IS capable of striking fear far beyond the territory it controls. In February, a double suicide bomb killed 70 people, also in Sadr city. But other neighborhoods were also caught up in the latest violence, with more death and injury in Khadamiyya and in a mainly Sunni neighborhood in the west. This was the bloodiest day in Baghdad this year. The attacks come in the midst of a deep political crisis, a government crippled by factional divisions and parliament unable to meet. While the politicians dither, civilians wonder why the government can't do more to protect them. Paul Adams, BBC News.
And that's SafeTV2 headline news for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find SafeTV2 headline news on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and in the evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from your newscast. And may God bless Guyana.